Hey guys, Dave Lalonic, Sticky RX. So I'm in my own personal garage, and I just got done eating a little dinner, and I got an email from a customer at a GranTurismo that wants to do some vents and some other parts and didn't know how to disassemble them. Well, I'm a shoemaker whose kids have no shoes. My own 2013 GranTurismo, that's my 6-month daily driver, also had sticky parts. So I just went at it here, and we'll show you what I did, and at least it's the start of getting vents out, headlight control, and a couple other things. And then I'm gonna be back at doing the rest of the car in different video series. So I'll just add to a playlist. So thanks for watching. Any questions? Dave Sticky RX, give me a call anytime. Glad to help where I can. I got a few toys of my own. I've got a 355, that's my buddy's 458. I got a McLaren up front, my father's Chrysler TC Maserati, my Jeep Wrangler daily driver, and I've got another 355 here, which actually kicked off the start of Sticky RX. So anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Okay, so here I am in my personal Maserati GranTurismo, and you can see a shoemaker whose kids have no shoes. A lot of sticky parts in my own car, with exception to the radio, because I hate to admit this story, but years ago, we were doing one of these radios and we lost a button. And I stole it out of my own car to make the customer right. So while I had this out, we refinished this. I do have a replacement button to put in here now. Haven't got to that. So it's about time to do my own car here. So I'm going to go at some of this slowly. So what I'm going to do first of all is I want to access these vents, and I'll probably break this into a series of videos by part. So I know from past searching around that this trim piece needs to be removed in order to access some fasteners. So I'm going to try this with my hand right here. I might need a pry tool. I'm just seeing if I can snap it free right here. I'll just grab it up by the instrument cluster here and trying to pull. I'm moving it, but I'm not moving it enough. But essentially, that's gonna come out, and it's gonna allow access to some fasteners. So let me get that out, and I'll stitch the rest of the video together. And if I need to use pry tools, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so simply putting two fingers here, I was able to pull on this trim piece and start snapping it out. Now it's only out in this area. You can see I'm raising it up here. Now, I'm not all that concerned about scratching the vent because I'm going to redo it, but I'm wiggling here, and I certainly don't want to break the trim, but I'm walking it out here. Okay, you can see it's coming out more. So I'm going to put the camera down and do the rest of this so I don't screw up my leather here. And we'll get that piece out. So you see with that trim piece removed, goes all the way to here. You've got all these snap clips. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that snap all that together. Now you'll see some screws here. These two hold the nit bezel. I'll probably pull that out as well. And then this one that's a little to the right is for the air vent. So I'm going to get some Allen keys. Remember, it's metric, and we're going to go at this first to get, I want to just start off by getting the vents out. This side here, and then of course the driver's side, there's another trim there. I'll have to remove that as well. Okay, so 4mm Allen key. I already broke this loose. I'll get this fastener out of here. Again, holding the camera with one hand and doing this with the other. So I'll get this screw out, and then we'll see about getting the rest of the vent out. Stay tuned. Okay, I should have known this just by how we refinished the vents, but there's actually a vent tab right here and here under these screws that have this leather going on them, so I need to get those off as well. So there you go. I popped the backside just with my bare hands, not even any pry tools, and likely now I can wiggle this up through here. See, let's see. And we could probably see the tabs. There they are. There's a snap tab there, another one here. So again, I'm doing this with one hand with the camera, not the most ideal, but I can likely wiggle this out. There we go. And on the other side. So I don't really need to remove all this to do this vent. I'll pull it out, unplug it here, and then we'll get to the end ones. Okay, so you don't want to do what I just did. I should have loosened this fastener as well. I ended up breaking this tab off the vent. Not a big deal. We repair a lot of this stuff in the shop, so we'll just put that back on. It'll be easy to do. And that's not a big deal, but I don't want you to do that. So I would suggest loosening or removing this to get a little bit more free area back here. So this tab comes up a little bit more free. Okay, so once you get that out, there's the electrical connector here. I'll remove that and then this vent will be free. Okay, somebody's likely gonna wanna know how to remove this electrical connector. There's a little tab on there that you need to release. I'm putting a little pry tool in here and I'm basically the tab needs to come this direction towards me. Okay, to release that while you pull up. Now I might not be able to do this with the camera, but you can see the direction that I'm going. And then if I release that enough, that connector will come off. I don't think I did, but maybe I did. It's not focusing here. Again, trying to do this with camera in one hand and hand in the other. I should set up a tripod to do this, but essentially you want to lean the tab this way and bring the connector up. So I'll free it up here with two hands. So you're gonna learn from my expense. I'm gonna show you why I broke that tab. There's actually a little tang here that goes into this hole. So by trying to pull up, that's what snapped it. So you do need to get this freed away a little bit more. Really, the best thing to do would be to undo all these fasteners and take this dash panel right out so you can pull the vent straight forward. You can certainly, if you gap this more, you could pull it forward and get it out above that tab, but that's how I crack that. But that's an easy fix for us. Won't be an issue. Okay, now I have to get the side vents out. Now, I know from having hundreds of these in our shop that on each side, here and here, here and here, are the same type of spring clips as this. So I don't want to mark up this, I think this is fake leather or whatever, leather, but I got to get in there to snap those. I'm going to try to do it more from the inside. I'm not going to be able to have the camera on when I do this unless I set a tripod up. So I'll also see if I can get underneath here where I don't hurt anything and try to snap up from there. So I'll give that a shot. I can put a piece over here to pry on. I don't want to lean on this leather at all, but perhaps something under here to pry and snap those with just a protection over here. So let me see what I come up with and then I'll be back at you. Okay, so I have a microfiber cloth here and a pry tool plastic with some tape on it, and I'm just going in the corners underneath here, and you can see I'm prying that. So same thing, if I come over to this corner, I'll pry that. Now I'll need to put the camera down to finish it off, but that should get me out of it. Okay, you'll see I don't have this quite out yet. So I actually use this tool. I put the microfiber down here and underneath it, I put the plastic pry tool so that when I put this in, I didn't mushroom anything in the dash. But that allowed me to raise up the vent a little bit more. And then I used the pry tool on the side to pry in a little bit to get my fingers in here. So what you want to do for sure is pull this kind of out straight. I mean, this is a curved area, but if you could imagine if you squared this off, you want to come straight out because I know that's how the side pieces go in. So I'm going to just kind of work this from the top with my fingers here. I could probably put a pry tool in here. I don't want to mar this. I'm always very careful with that. So I'm going to try to work with my fingers here a little bit and see if I can pop it out that way. But that's essentially what you need to do to get these out. So I wanted to show this. I used my fingers up top to kind of level this out to get this gap here, and I have the gap here. Now, with both hands, I'm going to get my fingers under this side and on this side to be able to pull this straight out. Okay, and there you go. And you'll see those tabs and see that curvature. That's what I was explaining. If you kind of figured that vent being squared off in the front, you want to pull it out like this. You don't want to try going like this or down. You want to try pulling in that direction because there's the clips on both sides. And there you go. I didn't harm any leather at all. Now I'll do the driver's side. Okay, so at the driver's side to get this left-hand vent out. Now, this trim piece also comes out, and I'm gonna take that off because look at my headlight control. What a mess. So I'm gonna do the headlight control, excuse me, as well. So I'm gonna take this out. You wouldn't necessarily need to do that for the vent, but I think it's better to do that because then it'll allow you pry tool access from underneath, and that should help. So this, it's gonna be similar to the other side. I mean, it's gonna have snap clips. I'm pretty sure I removed this on my prior GranTurismo. So I'm gonna get in here. There's a little bit of a gap right here with the plastic pry tool and get that piece out. All right, this is a little tricky. So I'm going in with the plastic pry tool behind this trim, and then there's a black piece, a piece of trim that holds the leather from the steering cover. And I'm just working it a little bit. I mean, I have a nice gap here now. I started, it was very tight. So I'm just putting the tool in and I'm just working it and going back and forth. So actually now I can even get my fingers in here. And now I'm pulling, there you go. Now I'm just pulling that trim right out. And there you go, and there's the clip. So see, look, the clip even came out with it. That's not uncommon. We see these missing all the time. So that clip just goes back in that square trim piece, not a big deal. So now what I'm gonna do first probably is pull these two, and I'm gonna get this panel out that's got the headlight control in it first. Okay, so I pulled the two screws out here to get this headlight panel out, and there's also a couple more on the underside. You can see them right there. So I'm gonna remove those. I might need to remove this one here, which is no big deal. I've already loosened it because of the tab slipping up under here, but I'm gonna drop the two on the bottom first and see if this slides out. Okay, so by removing the two screws up here, the two on the bottom, I was able to wiggle this and pull this tab right out this bracket here with no damage. And you see there is a washer there. And then there is a prong here that plugs into here. So now I can kind of wiggle this out a little bit, get a little slacks so I can disconnect the electrical connectors and get that out. And obviously there's more disassembly required to get this panel out of the leather. Well, before I take the connectors off, I should probably explain that too. Sometimes people don't know how to do the connectors. So this one's a little different. There's a little release here, this little gray button. You press this down and then you slide this red piece over. Obviously my fingers are gonna be in the way, but by pushing this tab down, that's gonna allow me to slide that red piece back. I might have to do that outside the video. And then the other connector for the, I guess the buttons here, there's also a little button right on this connector. Push that in, and then you can pull it out, okay? So I can't do this with one hand, but let me take care of it and I'll be right back. Okay, so there you go. So there's the headlight control here. I suppose I'll add a section here on how to pull this apart. It's pretty straightforward, but I will document it so everybody can see it. So once again on these connectors, so this little red lever is a cam. Once you push this button in, it allows the lever to come back this direction towards me, I guess clockwise if you're looking at it this way, and it'll cam the connector out. And same thing like I explained on this one, you push this little lock mechanism, this little lock button in, and then you can wiggle and pull this connector straight off. So now I'll put the pry tool under here and we'll work on getting this vent out. Okay, so with this panel gone, you don't have to worry about hurting it, which is nice. So this snap pry tool works really nice in here. I get it underneath, and you know, this is on an angle, so I can use a little leverage from the dash. I've already kind of popped it. And same thing on this side. You get it under, use a little leverage, and I'm basically popping the corners, which will allow me to get my fingers in there now, or pry tool on the side and pop the side. Okay, there you go. That one was real easy. That came out real simple. Okay, so there we go. We got the 3 vents out. We got the headlight control. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna do for this segment is just pull this headlight control out of the leather here. Very straightforward. And I'm gonna need some Phillips screwdrivers. And I'm gonna start off by just taking off these main screws here. Okay, so very straightforward. You take off these 4 larger screws, followed by 5 of the small ones. Everything that's on that metal plate, and that'll allow you to lift this metal plate right up and off. Now, that should free the total control. Now, you gotta remember, this stuff is, you know, it's sticky, So the sticky coating is going to hold it into the trim a little bit. So I'll be gentle with that. I'm going to look this over. I don't think there's anything else that holds it in, but I'll check it out. I don't believe so. I'll pop that right out. So there you go. Yeah, as discussed, just the stickiness was holding against the leather. So now this piece is out. So if you're sending to us Sticky RX for refinishing, you send it in just like this. You don't take anything more apart. In fact, we don't want you to. We'll take it all apart. When we refinish, we'll put it all back together. Everything will be beautiful. So that's the end of this segment of the video. I'll be at more of the car, and then I'll probably also do some videos of putting stuff back together. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.